Black Girl Magic, and we're going to record a little thought-provoking for our 1 to 3. We're a little off. We'd said 2-year increments, but 0 to 1 was a big time, and now we're going to do kind of 1 to 3. So I want us to think about how you're going to get through to where I would like you to be when we go to our group together on the second Sunday in April, which is I want us to have done or to be thinking about doing a temper tantrum. Because in the culture that we've all been raised in, dominant American culture, we have the idea of the terrible twos. So let's just review a little bit. That means that psychologically, pretty much all of our legacy back to the 1950s had a heavy emphasis on the authority of the adult over the child and the control of the child. And there was a lot of psychological, I'm going to call it mythology because let's just be fair here. Okay, we're doing magical Black girl recovery work. We grew up in a system that believed that children needed to be controlled by adults in order to gain competence in the world. Psychologically, that's under the influence of Freud. Let's just really own that Freud originally figured out a lot of the incest abuse shit that was going on in Europe. And when he saw the reaction he was getting from his colleagues and peers who were the abusers and the predators, he backed off. That's the consensual belief about what happened with Freud. And think of how much he has shaped how we parent our children, what we think of ourselves, what our labels are. So staying with the basics, Freud said it was all about the learning to control your bowels, right? And I have to say, in our culture, we have heavy penalties for kids who don't have bowel control by the age of 2 or 3. If you're 8, you are diagnosed with something called ancopresis, and you don't even hear about it. And uresis, you hear about bedwetting, but you don't hear about shitting on yourself. Okay, so big stuff around 2. Just having to think that through. And what else would we like to talk through? Oh, Erickson was more generous. And by the time we got to the super progressives like the Dr. Spock generation, that's a whole 60-something parent generation. They were considered too liberal, and that's the reason all the hippie kids came along. So lots of theory that influences what your grandparents thought about your parents' parenting and what your parenting might have been and what your parenting might be as you parent or even grandparent little ones. And I want you to be getting ready to use that energy of the terrible twos. Why are they so terrible? Because the child doesn't have all the language yet, isn't integrated into the culture, is frustrated a lot, and also because we're trying to control them. So to go back and reclaim your temper tantruming is a powerful tool using breath work and using body integration. So I will present some of that, and I'm going to give us some powerful music for you all to be thinking about playing with this. It could be as simple as just get your hands moving, your hands and your mouth. That can be your temper tantrum. Maybe you have pillows and you're on a bed and you can do your whole body. But a lot of people fear they're going to lose control and they'll never get it back again. That's the conditioning we have. So temper, tantrums, anger integrates to power. We're going to tantrum together and talk about it a little bit next time. So very different from our relaxing first one. And I have a suggestology triggered relaxing music opportunity for you to look at one particular theory about development. So this is a bit less than an hour's worth of prep loosely between now and when we get together, okay? That's the idea, counting this little video that I'm just making for you here.